guitar. Nathan, this has nothing to do with skating, but you have so many talents in skating, music, you play piano, guitar, and you even did backflip, and you like studying. Is there anything that you're not good at? Any weak point of Nathan Chen?
Certainly a lot. But I think that's the thing. You start with something and you try to do your best and continue moving forward. But yeah, there's a lot of things, of course, where you start, you're not so good. But I mean, that's with everything. You start to learn, trying to get better. I didn't start skating. I wasn't great at skating when I started, and I wasn't great at music when I started. But I just kept trying to get better. Fortunately, certain things stuck, certain things didn't.
Well, can you give us one or two examples of things that you're not really good at?
I started with violin because I couldn't transfer my piano from when I was moving from Utah to California. I couldn't bring my piano with me, so I switched to violin. I broke my hand, unfortunately, before Junior World, so I stopped being able to play. But it was also something that I wasn't quite as passionate about. I didn't love as much as maybe piano and guitar. So maybe didn't spend so much time practicing, and therefore I was not very good at that.
Okay. All right, now Ilia, what's your hobby?
Well, I mean, as of every teenager probably right now, video games. Also I like to skateboard. It's kind of I want it to be a second sport, hobby. It's really fun to do, especially on the weekend. You can go chill out with friends and just ride around.
And your parents were competitive skaters, and they actually competed in Japan as well. Do you talk about skating at home with your parents?
I mean, sometimes they bring it up. Depends on the conversation. Most of the time, we try to stay away from skating at home because that's kind of a parents thing. So they want to split time from being coaches to being parents. So at home, we usually don't really talk about skating unless it's depends on the situation, really.
And last season was a really difficult season for all the skaters and all the other athletes because of COVID-19 pandemic. What kind of precautions were you taking in daily basis? Nathan, sir.
Sure. First off, as I've said before, at least speaking for myself, I can't really complain about the situation because I still have the opportunity to compete. I still have the opportunity to come train. That's the thing that I was most passionate about. I love skating. I wanted to be at the rink, and I had the opportunity to go to the rink. But certainly, a lot of people were impacted a lot more great than I was. With their own health or with losing jobs and finances and all of that. So it was definitely a really tough situation for a lot of people. And I was fortunate enough to be in a situation where I could just go in and train every day without, having too much of that impact the way that I lived my regular life. But that being said, of course, there were a lot of precautions, and we were all trying to be as safe as we could, given that, if we tested out, we can't go to the competitions. If we got positive, you don't know how long it will take before you can provide negative tests. So just a lot of the conversation around that, but everyone was navigating the same space. So it's not like I was particularly having a hard time. Everyone was trying to figure that out and just trying to stay as safe as possible. But we all did a pretty good job at doing that, and commend all the athletes for staying strong and staying positive during that period of time.
And Ilia?
Well, definitely, again, like he said, there are a lot of people that suffered from COVID-19 and just the problems that came with it, and specifically me, at the rink, you had to wear a mask even when you're on the ice, 24/7. So it just, at one point, we were kind of getting used to it, and then everything went a little bit down. So everything, all the mandatories just went a little bit lower, and it kind of helped me ease in a little to this new coming season with, hoping to get everything back to how it was normally. But all that said, I think everyone can agree that these 3-4 years with COVID-19 was just a big mess.
Well, things haven't been back to normal completely yet, but to have audience in the arena and skating in front of big audience, a big crowd, how do you feel about it?
It's very fun. The audience are a big part of why we do this sport, right? Of course, we all love it. Of course, we have our own sort of intrinsic motivation, but to be able to have people and to share the passion and see that people are receptive to or we have a shared passion, that's really what makes life worth living and makes this whole sport so great. Just to have that shared passion for skating and be able to have opportunities to perform.
And you?
I feel like when there's an audience, I feel a lot better. When I perform, I feel a lot more motivated. I just feel a lot more energy because it kind of brings it from the audience. They get really excited for your program performance, so it just really helps me get in the mindset of competing, and it just makes me happy to see the audience.
And Nathan, you skated with many young skaters, Japanese skaters, and also with Ilia in this show, who look up to you. So, what would you like to tell them? I mean, any advice or anything that you would like to tell them?
I mean, a lot of these skaters are better than I ever was, so it's cool to be able to see that the future of figure skating is in really good hands. I'm just very excited to continue seeing these athletes grow, progress, and shape the sport in their own individual ways, which of course makes the sport very special.
And Ilia, how did you like skating with many Japanese young skaters?
As he said, they're really bringing the future of skating, including myself, and it's just amazing to see how this sport went from maybe like decades ago to how it is now. It's just amazing how much the sport has progressed.
And finally, there are many Japanese skating fans watching this video. So from Nathan, any message to your fans?
Yeah, sure. I've said it before, but thank you so much, truly, for all the support that you've shown me, to my fellow competitors. I know that it's a big sport, but I really appreciate all the support and the just respect for everyone. We're all trying to do our very best, and I really appreciate that. You can understand that all the fans understand that, and continue supporting us.
I would just like to say to all the fans, thank you for taking your time to, support us and every, figure skater out here. We've done a lot for you, and I think it's really helpful that all of you guys supporting us, and it's definitely motivating some of us to become the best that we can.